Welcome to another vibrant episode of the No Limits Life podcast, where we share stories of impact, passion, and purpose. So let's start with today's quote from the No Limits Life 60 Seconds Daily Boost. Before you speak, take a moment of silence. It holds the wisdom your words may lack. Today's guest is a perfect example of that philosophy in action. Anthony Scheafer is a fun-loving, passionate real estate broker and industry thought leader who has built a powerhouse sales business and dynamic team. Selling thousands of homes across southern Arizona, his real gift lies in connecting people, creating synergy, and building win-win networks where everyone thrives. But Anthony's impact does not stop at real estate. He is a committed philanthropist who's raised millions of dollars for local charities and inspired others to join causes close to their hearts. He brings joy to fundraising and sees life as a journey of growth, excellence, and giving back. He currently serves as the board chair for the Southern Arizona Heart Association and has previously served as board president for the Rio Community Center and the Long Realty Cares Foundation. He is a force for good, fueled by a zest for life and commitment to leaving everything better than he found. You have a lot of stuff. Please help me welcome to the show, Anthony Scheafer.
All right, Anthony, welcome. Hey. It's great to have you here on No Limits Life.
Excited to be here, Ken.
Very cool.
Nordine, thank you. What a warm welcome. Excited to be here with everybody and share some of my story. Hopefully give some, zest for folks to carry forward in their day and to hopefully be a force for good.
Awesome. Anthony, before we jump into your story, I'd love to hear your feedback and how today's quote resonate with you personally. Before you speak, take a moment of silence. It holds the wisdom your words may lack.
Very powerful for me, actually. One of the things that we try to live by internally is this sentiment is very similar, which is the true power lies between the stimulus and the response. And if you can breathe, take a moment, review, and then give answer, there is so much more power to that than your instant reaction. Our instant reactions can be built out of ego, I believe.
Reactivity. Instead of responding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. A great
So you're
moment.
preparing the answer before you're actually not even listening.
Correct.
You're preparing the answer and you're preparing to defend yourself.
Exactly.
Instead of responding with some information, feedback and honest feedback about what's been said.
Absolutely. And then I'll add to it another quote, which is not attributed to me, but I think it folds in, which is, you are that which you answer to. And if every moment of stimulus or every moment of impact you answer to, you are automatically betrothed to that. So for us, one of the things we look at is like, how do we stay at peace? How do we stay at neutral? How do we stay in love over and above everything else? Because when we do that, good things happen. But when we live in ego and immediate responsiveness, peace. Exactly.
So I always say this, when people ask me, okay, this is, it's easier said than done. Mm-hmm. But I say it's easier done than said. Because it's about being. It's not about doing.
Yes.
It's about, when you said peace, that brought me back to thinking about the present moment. That's where peace resides.
Yes.
Peace does not reside in the past, nor does it reside in the future. And that we are referring to fear when people are reacting and answering out of fear.
Right.
That's out there. This is either thinking either the past or the future. They're defending themselves, and they try to defend themselves. And and I think it's always a good idea to just listen. Listen long enough until you find the right words to say. What got you involved in real estate?
So my real estate backstory is quite interesting, and I have to be grateful to my mom. My mom actually was selling real estate in Washington State. I was working or trading with a hedge fund for 10 years, and she said, you know what? You have more to offer the world than sitting in front of a computer your entire reality. And I was at a nexus, a crossroads, whereby I was their top trader and at the same time was burnt out and didn't love it. So she gave me a nudge to say, hey, go take on a new challenge. And that was 12 or 13 years ago. From there, I did all the prerequisites, did all the licensure, all that jazz. I had a notable ego because I believed, hey, if I could be good at this one thing, I'm easily going to be good at the next. So for the next 2 or 3 years, I was humbled. I had to learn a lot of hard lessons about myself, about how it is to be in sales, how it is to honor the sales process and do it from the right energy, not from an energy of, I need people to just do deals with me, but what is actually right for them. And so those first few years were difficult, to say the least. There were moments of serious self-doubt, of question that why did I go do all of this when I had this other thing that was so great, which I do believe in the enemy of great is good. I was doing something good before that, but to evolve into the best version of me that served people around me and the best version of me, it meant getting out there with people, not being in front of a computer.
Yeah. Would you say that, because you look, and I can feel the energy that you're very passionate about what you do. Okay, so would you say that you had when you mentioned the hardship about learning your skill? Okay, I always say get an activity, turn it into a skill, master the skill, and it becomes a passion.
Yes.
Did that occur for you? Did you go through that process?
Yes. At the time, I didn't realize there was a process there to still have. But the trials and tribulations, I say either you are buried by them or you rise above and stand on top of them. And so there was so much that I just didn't know. I didn't know what a true sales process looked like. I didn't know how to properly network. I didn't know that all of this needed to come from a heart of service first to guarantee everyone wins. And so that process, that evolution, that growth for those first few years was really truly just hardship, and then eventually reevaluation into how do I learn the skill sets? How do I do this the right way? Who's doing it the right way? Who can I model that's doing it the right way? And how do I make sure that I can continue in this field? Because there were moments that were, well, maybe I'm just go back to the old gig and just give up.
And that's the natural behavior of a human when we start something and we're almost about to succeed, and our brain kicks in and wants to self-sabotage everything.
So what drives and pushes you nowadays?
So these days, it's a different game. These days, it is a game of beating the version of me yesterday. And he was real good. He's been working on himself. He's been working on his craft. He's been working on his relationships for a decade. This idea of constant and never-ending improvement is what pushes me. And also, I'm going to say above and beyond this, and this, sometimes people, they find this a little bit much, but it's my truth, which is a moral imperative to be the best example of a human being that I can, because I know that by me creating that reality, other people will awaken, aliven, see what's possible. I see it as a little bit of a way shower, as even with my team. I want to be a person that I'm the boat that cuts the wake, and you guys can follow behind and get yourself so much further faster than you would have. For me now, Ken, it is how do I evolve to become the best version of myself, to beat the guy yesterday, to be able to impact more people. I heard a quote this morning, it's Joan Rivers, and it doesn't get easier, you just get better. And my idea is keep getting better, keep getting better.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. I love that quote. That leads me to think about this notion of always, when you mention, I want to be the best at what I do, I want to be the best person I can be, I want you to tell the listeners, how do you do that? What is your definition, and how do you go by doing that? And when I say doing that, it's not really doing that, but how you become that.
Yes, it's beingness for one.
Exactly.
It is where is my heart and spirit in what I do on a daily basis. So that could start, well, for me, that starts in how do you greet the day? So I'm going to greet the day with a workout to start the day. I believe you move the body, you be disciplined with the body, the mind will follow to suit. And then from there, put in positive. Be very disciplined about what is allowed into your mental diet. You don't just allow yourself to eat poor foods and expect to have great results. The same is with your mental diet. If you're not putting in a great podcast like this, an audio book, a learning type of activity, you're missing an opportunity to grow, because these little add-ons day after day after day after day become so exponential, and you actually don't recognize the human being you've grown into because you've input so much good that so much good starts to flow back out of you by natural forces. So for me, it is actually those starting pieces to the day then carry throughout the rest of the day. How do I greet people with more love than I did yesterday, and being intentional about it? How do I greet people where they need to be met and serve them on their real estate journey better than they've ever been met?
Absolutely, Anthony. And Ken, as Anthony is mentioning all these beautiful things about, the power of resilience and how you just do it and get out of bed and do it. I always say this, and I'm sure that you do the same thing and you believe in the same thing. There are three things that one needs to be doing to be successful and productive. One, upon a raising, is being grateful, for what is being given to you, because life is not guaranteed.
Yep.
Okay, wake up in the morning and you're grateful. The second one is being intentional, about what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be. And the third one is make your damn bed.
Yeah.
Okay, and I found that so powerful, and that it's not.
That's an Admiral McRaven thing.
It's exactly where victory starts.
Yep. I made my bed today.
You feel, because Anthony, to your credit, when you mentioned that there are a lot of things that need to be taking place before you become successful, but for people that are listening, some of them are right now thinking, well, again, it's easier said than done. And they're right. Sometimes you don't want to get out of bed. You just don't want to get out of bed. So how do you get yourself to go and do and be all these things? Well, I always say this. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself this question. Why am I here? I remember that quote that I'm going to butcher it, but it says there are two important dates in your life. The first one is when you're born, and the second one is why you're born. And so again, Anthony, I really appreciate that you are mentioning all these things, because the doing is one thing, but the being is much, much more important. The other questions I had for you. How does someone get started in real estate, and why should they want to?
So it does dovetail from what we were talking about, because it is a journey in personal development, because you are not going to be able to do this or participate in this industry unless you can really evolve into the best version of yourself. So they get started. They can take their real estate classes. They can go hang their license under a brokerage. But for me, that isn't even really starting. They need to go make that self-investment. So who are you having as a mentor? Who are you having as a trainer? And who is holding you accountable? Because those things, they say that which is tracked and measured improves. You must have people that can show you how to do this, or you can put your head down and bang 3 years out and decide to waste a lot of time and energy because you have a big ego, which I did, but it wasn't my best use of time and energy, is what I will tell you. So they can do all of those precursors that we discussed, but I would highly encourage mentorship. I would highly encourage going to pay for someone to train you. That's actually where my career made the shift. Is I said, hey, I don't get this. I cannot figure it all the way out.
Someone else knows better.
Someone knows better. I don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Why do I keep doing it? Right?
No one does.
Exactly.
We all had mentors.
Yes. And even so, for that period of time, I was absolutely headstrong that I would figure it out on my own. And then eventually, I was essentially forced into a training class that I had to pay $450 for that I did not have. It's the typical story, right? You didn't have the money, you charged it. You're like, well, this is my last ditch effort. And I take the coursework, and it changed how I looked at everything. It changed my internal energy about the business.
So was that your rock bottom in the business?
I would say the rock bottom in the business was I had a client that was coming in from out of town that had made a deal on a property and she hadn't seen it, and she was coming in to look at it the day of closing and signing. And if she didn't close, because maybe she didn't like it, she hadn't seen it, but if she didn't close, I was out of the business.
Wow.
And
what did she do?
She loved it. And she
nice.
stayed in the business. She became a great mentor to me as well, in a different sense, in a more spiritual sense. But business is a spiritual game.
Exactly. That leads me to this question. Okay. You mentioned earlier being the best human possible. How about being the best spiritual being possible?
Yes.
And that is because when you do that, you come from a place of heart, not from a place of ego. As my dear friend Deepak Chopra mentioned, ego edging God out. And so coming from that place of love, there is a process that I want you to tell the listeners about, because this show is all about inspiring, uplifting.
Good.
It's not about selling anything. It's about, being, as I mentioned before. So the process that I used, and I'm sure it's the process you use, and Ken, it's the process you used as well, and every successful person have used that process. When people mention passion, you've heard it before. You got Tony Robbins of the world, and I love Tony. But I'm referring to motivational speakers out there who are saying, and the real estate is full of motivational speakers, self-development, gurus, and all that. And I love all of them. But I have to say, telling people to go and get your passion, but they get home and they crash because they don't know what that is. It's not like you go to the store, and I mentioned that before in other shows, and you buy passion in packs of 12. It doesn't exist. And that's not how I did it. I didn't go from a little ricket baby to two-time Mr. Universe by, just using passion. I used a process. And for me, that process is that if you're not sure out there what you should be passionate about, you take a piece of paper and a pen and write down all the activities that you like to do, okay? And start. Do them. And the ones that you like most, you do most of them. And then you get down to one and build the skill, okay? Then master the skill. When you master the skill, it becomes a passion. Would you say that's the process that you would take and that you took?
I would say that I didn't do it as clearly as that. But at some point, the clarification around what I was excited about and passionate about did fold into the work role as well. So my passion has always been human beings and engaging with them and living in curiosity of why they live the way they live. And so truly the real estate business is that. Why this house? Why now? Why are you coming to me for this investment? Like there is a lot of pieces to that I think are important in figuring out how to help them. So when you were mentioning that, I couldn't help but think everyone is here to be of service in whatever field that is. And that seems to be the core baseline to it. Now, what are the technical skills that you like to utilize within that? I mean, for me, it is curiosity about human beings and creating networks. And how do I connect the right people? And how do I be this middle ground that, takes from over here, but puts these two people together and all of a sudden great things happen? How can I be the straw that stirs the drink? So that became the skill that I really leaned in on. And that original coursework that I took was essentially, that was the quote. Be the straw that stirs the drink. And so that skill became a huge subset for me. And then that evolved into additional passion for, hey, how do I get other people to see it this way and do right in the world?
So what's next on the agenda? What's next for your journey?
Next for the journey is building out these guys and gals around me. I want to see what's next for them. I want to see them evolve, thrive, and elevate the industry. Our industry has been notorious for part-time participants. And with that, I don't think that serves the public at large the best. So I want to see our team grow out and hopefully elevate the industry.
How many people on your team right now?
We have 7 people on the team.
Okay.
And
is that normal, or that seems kind of big?
It depends on how it's done. There are a variety of models. Our model is not a lead buying model at all. It is being the best example in the marketplace and having word of mouth help trumpet your brand, your business.
I've passed your name along to a few people.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I know so. I appreciate that. And it's because you know they will be well served.
Yep.
And if you didn't know that, you wouldn't do that. And we wouldn't do the business the way we did it if we weren't aligned with the client. And that's the beautiful way that it is. Mm-hmm. We want you guys or clients to win so that long-term our business can continue to win, which puts us in this beautiful heart of service mentality. And that means whatever is right for them is what's right for that moment. Even if it is a cancellation of deal, that is the right decision. We will get it done the most graceful way possible.
It's based on again, integrity and love.
Yes.
So Anthony, thank you for
Thank you guys.
Sharing your story, your insights, and we really appreciate you being here.
Is there anything, as we're wrapping this up, is there anything that you want to share with our listeners, maybe how they can contact you, connect with you?
Sure.
How do they do that?
Yeah, so I think social media is a great way. So at Tony Scheafer on Instagram or Anthony Scheafer on Facebook. It's just easy. You can see some of the stuff we're doing, some of the fun videos, some of the connection points. And if there's anything we can do to help you, connections that you want introductions to, we'd love to help there.
Well, actually, I got to tell everybody, we had this brand new Mind Body Wellness Expo, and I really needed a speaker.
Yeah.
And so I called you, and boom, I got a speaker. Yep. So, that had nothing to do with real estate.
No.
So it was great. Thank you.
And that's the goal, right? Is how can I help people? And the mentality is, and this is what I'll leave you guys with, this is from the book, The Go-Giver. I hope you're familiar. If you're not, you must read the book. Give, ask, receive. Give first. Give first. Give first. At some point, there will be an opportunity to ask. And then when it does come, allow that receive. Allow it to come through you.
And awesome. To all our amazing listeners and everyone out there, thank you for joining us today. If you were inspired by Anthony's story and all the stories that we share here, please share this episode and please subscribe. Okay? This is about uplifting, it's about inspiring, and it's about love. Thank you.